Greetings, dear ones. I'm Cryon of Magnetic Service. Let's take a moment to look at things differently. But that is what this channel is all about. The things that I give now, I've given before, but not in this energy. We are still in the south of France, in an area called Cathar country. And so I start discussing yet again the grandness that you have never been taught, the majesty of the truth that is starting to prevail.
Então eles são conhecidos como um grupo de cristãos que viveram no sul da França, região do Languedoc, Occitânia, no início do século XIII, por volta de 1200, em pequenas comunidades rurais, e eram conhecidos por seus vizinhos como os puros. Eram pessoas consideradas pacíficas e os nobres e todas as pessoas da região gostavam deles. E todas as pessoas começaram a querer ouvir dos cátaros e não dos padres a respeito de Jesus Cristo, pois eles sentiam haver muito mais verdade e podiam entender muito mais aquilo que os cátaros falavam ao invés da igreja. Então isso incomodou a poderosa Igreja Católica da época e finalmente a igreja decidiu eliminar naquele grupo rival, na sua concepção, iniciando então a primeira cruzada cristã na história, a Cruzada Albigense.
So the first crusade was there between 1209 to 1229, during 20 years. They fight against them in every areas here, different Cathar strongholds. In Minerve, another tiny village on the top of a small rocky plateau, isolated by gorges, they were there. More than 100 Cathars were there, hide inside, and it was very hard to attack the city, but the fact that they used to have only one well inside Minerve, and the troops of Simon de Montfort poisoned the well thanks to catapults, and they launched dead rats to poison the water. It was the lack of water who forced them to surrender in Minerve and in different areas, and then they burned them alive. So they were quite not proud, but they were not scared of dying. And they say, let's go. And we say that they went themselves inside the fire. Okay, don't be scared, we are all together and let's go. And they went like that, they did like that. So it was effectively a terrible period of time, but a part of them hid in Spain, and they came back. 1 century after, they were there again in this area, and so they were obliged to launch a second crusade against them. The last known perfect Cathar died in Villerouge-Termenas, another Cathar castle, 1 century after the first crusade. And he said something important there. He said, just before dying, just before, jumping directly into the fire, he said that the Catharism spirit will never die, and that he will come back in this land in 700 years, 7 centuries. And it's this period of time. So perhaps you are Cathars, effectively. Huh? So welcome back. Thank you. Allez, please follow me there. We are going to watch now the basilica. Allez.
The ancients of this planet saw in the skies evidence of the wobble of the earth. And so many of them intuitively gave the same exact prophecy about what would happen if you made it past 2012. A humanity that seemed to go from war to war still had a chance to start a consciousness of awakening. A consciousness that would begin to see each other with more integrity. Maybe a consciousness that would see the soul. A consciousness that would awaken to peace. An evolution that could take place on this planet. And that is what the prophecy was. If you made it past 2012, that was going to happen. Humanity would be finished with war. Start putting things together. Start respecting each other more. Dear ones, I want you to look at your media, because that's what's happening. It's not an accident that it's happening now. We sit in an energy where you can sense between dimensions, and these truths become self-evident to high thinkers who think about their soul, why they're here, and the Creator who made them. The Cathar were way ahead of their time. Perhaps in a primitive way, they sensed what I speak of. But in an elegant way, the last Cathar said that that would return the belief, Catharism, which is the belief, perhaps, in the elegance of the soul, would return in 700 years. And that, dear ones, is right now. The prophecy of the ancients is even echoed, perhaps, in the last words of the Cathar. That is important. And it brings us to the question, why are you here? Are you starting to sense this beautiful truth, that the future of the planet has actually changed?
Tanto Cryon quanto a guia citam um fato curioso na história dos cátaros, que foram as palavras do último perfeito, que disse que retornaria em 700 anos. Então, talvez com uma profecia dizendo do retorno de uma consciência que seria adequada e compatível talvez com a consciência dos cátaros. Então esse fato talvez aponte, para os segredos e os mistérios mais profundos, desse povo que tinha uma postura tão diferente em sua época, marcada por violência, guerras. Eles tinham uma atitude pacífica, intuitiva. Então o fato de o cátaro prever um tempo futuro fala exatamente dessa sensibilidade, a intuição, que tem muito a ver com suas crenças relacionadas com a alma, com o feminino. Talvez essas características tenham sido aquelas que atraíram os cátaros para essa região especial no sul da França, no Languedoc, em lugares como, por exemplo, René-le-Château, tão marcado por histórias envolvendo o sagrado feminino.
What is the secret of rain? The treasure. But we are the treasure. Everybody searches for treasure. when we've finished here, we go up to the Domain and the Tour Magdala. And when you're at the top, stop, look, listen. The secret of Wren is that there is a special earth divine energy here, which only people like this group understand. Everybody comes to look for treasure. It's not physical treasure here. This building, the Chateau of Rennes, is very old. We don't know how old. This room is called the Visigoth room because the Visigoths came here. And this style of roof is specially for them with the stones. It is 800 years old, or 1,200 years old, or 2,000 years old. This tower goes 15 meters into the ground. What is down there? Don't worry about this today. Feel the energy. There is the stories of Mary Magdalene here. It is that female vibration you can find here if you listen, if you link.
E essa relação dos cátaros com o sagrado feminino, expresso em sua postura compassiva, em sua relação harmônica com Gaia, com a natureza, em sua manifestação intuitiva de conhecimentos da alma, talvez aponte para suas crenças. Né? Quais eram as crenças dos cátaros? O pouco que sabemos é que eles têm uma relação muito próxima e até mesmo histórica com um grupo de cristãos gnósticos chamados Bogomils, que habitaram a região dos Balcãs. Então poderíamos dizer que suas crenças são muito similares às dos gnósticos. E um dos mitos centrais para os gnósticos, e que falam dessa relação com a alma, é um mito chamado Pistis Sophia, que teria sido escrito em um evangelho apócrifo que foi encontrado no século XVIII, um evangelho gnóstico chamado Pistis Sophia, que descreve os ensinamentos de Jesus aos seus discípulos após a sua ressurreição. E entre os discípulos se contavam Maria Madalena e Marta, ou seja, a presença do sagrado feminino. E o mito central de Pistis Sophia fala da descida da alma humana, desde a sua plenitude, a união com o pleroma, a totalidade, né, da luz, e ela então, através de um processo de descenso, começa a adquirir, né, camadas de ignorância, camadas de inconsciência, e então se manifesta na Terra, se esquecendo de quem era. Então, para os gnósticos, e nesse ensinamento que Jesus entregou diretamente aos seus discípulos, talvez os ensinamentos mais avançados, né, ensinamentos esotéricos mais profundos, fala do sagrado feminino que, depois de uma descida à Terra, retorna a partir de um processo de ascensão, de retirada de véus, até que a alma retorne à sua plenitude, a união com a totalidade da existência.
Let's stop for a moment and look deeper into the Cathar. If you take a look at who they were, I will tell you this: they were very advanced, sacred thinkers. I want you to study for a moment the fact that they had very little structure. There was no hierarchy. There was no one person they turned to. There was no symbol of their being. And yet everyone has a symbol. It's like a label, so you can identify them. And yet they didn't. This is an advanced thinking about the oneness of God. Not just the oneness of God, the alignment with the planet, with the arts, with the beauty of music, and then more. If you had to trace where the Cathar perhaps got some ideas, They were more slanted toward perhaps what you would call the Gnostic Christians. The Apostle James disagreed with almost all of the others who walked the planet with Christ. And he became known as the one, along with John, who presented Christ in a different light. And James, he said this, that Christ came as an example, a human being, showing what all humanity could do, showing the love that humanity can have. I said this before, where the Master walked, the flowers grew. The animals followed him. The alignment with Gaia was so obvious, so complete. And he healed as he went, and he loved as he went. And humans came and sat at his feet because they could feel intuitively the energy that we speak of. They could feel between the dimensions the love that poured out of this man. And James, he said, this is the example for me. And to some degree, the Cathar, this was their model. Not his death, or presumed death, or what followed after it with the rules of believing in the death. It was an example for everyone. I'll show you how advanced and mystical the Cathar were, way beyond even what is thought about today. They knew and sensed the soul. The Cathar knew about the higher self, the connection to the other side of the veil that was constant. It did not need an interpreter, and they could see the face of God simply by going to that place in meditation, song, and love, and have instant connection, just like you would believe today. But more than that, they believed in the ascension of the soul, not the judgment. And they believed, like so many of you do who listen now, that at the last breath of your life, your soul would go into an ascended status and returned home to that which is the creative source itself. But in their belief, there was a mystical idea that the soul actually would become an angel. That's so beautiful, and in some ways so correct. They also took this a little from Elijah, who saw and showed what an ascension is when a man turns into that which is light. This is the mysticism of the Cathar. Not mystery, not unusual, but way advanced and so correct. And so what you find are hidden secrets, ideas that would point to this, and things which are hidden here which are too great to mention. There are things here that are beautiful, more than you know. I invite you to feel the sacredness of the discovery that can be yours as well. I want to remind you where you sit, dear ones who are with me right now in this message. I want to remind you that light has lasted here, that the memory of the honoring of a soul has lasted here. With a group who saw Jesus differently than the others, even to the fact that they believed in reincarnation. Light of the soul is what they saw. And the belief around Cathar will grow in its understanding of what happened. This is a return in 2012 to a higher consciousness. It's why you sit here. It's why you study this. Let humanity start to feel between dimensions and drop that which does not show your magnificence. Drop the fear that may surge within you for something you were told instead of something you know intuitively is different. That's what brought you here. The world is beginning to show the patterns. The things that have hidden that are sacred will start to be exposed. The systems to come that will help your consciousness, the connections that are beginning. Watch for these things, for they are all in front of you. With free choice, dear ones, you can guide what happens next into integrity and peace, instead of what you were told might happen here. That's the message of Kryon. That's the message that so many are receiving intuitively all around the planet. That's the truth. Capture this energy for a moment. Feel it for yourselves. And so it is.